Today, I want to have a candid conversation around habits, specifically the success habits that I believe contributed to my six-figure business and ultimately six-figure salary. Welcome back to the Brandmerry channel. I am Michelle Knight, founder and CEO of Brandmerry.com, and on this channel, we are giving you branding and marketing advice to create more income and impact. And okay, this might be a bit of a detour from what we normally talk about around content creation, branding, marketing, but here's the thing. What happens outside of the strategies in your business, all those tips and tricks and tools and things that you're implementing, actually plays a major role in your success. Now, I know at the beginning of this video, I talked about a six-figure business. So I want to take a short bit of time and talk about money and business, talking about salary, talking about all of those different things. Your goals might be different than mine. When I set out to create a business in 2016, I really wanted to create a six-figure business. That felt like a milestone for me. And so all of my energy and my attention and my goals were really dedicated to achieving that number. Over the years, my goal has been to maintain that number and continue to scale it. Ultimately, building to $1 million business. Now, I'm sharing these specific numbers with you because I think it's really important to have a monetary revenue goal for your business. So I really believe that what I'm sharing with you today will help you get to six figures. I also think implementing these tips that I'm going to share with you will help you get to whatever revenue goal you desire. I think we can all agree that entrepreneurship, running a business, starting and launching a business, putting that out into the world is not an easy task. And often we hear a lot about the step-by-step process to putting your business out in the world, being able to market your business, and ultimately accept cash for your products and your services. But very, very rarely are we putting the energy and attention on what has to happen behind the scenes, what has to happen in your life in order to support those revenue goals. At Brandmerry, and specifically inside of my membership Brandmerry Academy, we take a holistic approach to running an online business. We're really focused on sustainability because we know as the support team for our members that if things in our life are incredibly shaky, it's going to play a role in our business and vice versa. So let's talk about the very first tip I have for you, which actually piggybacks off of the revenue goal idea. It's really important that you know what you're working towards. All of those strategies that you might want to implement for your business are only going to make sense if you know how they all fit together, leading to the big picture. So I know I talk a lot about goal setting. I know you hear it all the time. You might even be sick and tired of it, but there's a reason why we talk about it. It plays a major part in your overall success. So I really encourage you to take moments, right? Even a few freaking seconds to just say, what do you want? What is that revenue goal that you're working towards? Because what that's going to allow you to do is reverse engineer the step-by-step process you need to take in order to get there. This is one of the processes I talk about inside of my 6-month planning video, which you can definitely check out on my channel. We'll link it below. And it's something that I'm practicing in different aspects of my business. So not only am I crystal clear on the revenue goal that I have, but I'm also really clear on what I want to do with that revenue goal. Right behind this camera, I have a vision board that I'm looking at that really maps out exactly what I'm working towards. What this allows you to do is prioritize your time and your energy and your money towards the things that you ultimately desire. The second tip I have is consistency in habits. Okay, if you're part of the Brandmerry community for any period of time, you've heard me say these two words on repeat: consistency and habits. There is so much power in repeating the same routine day in and day out. What it ultimately allows you to do is progress, right? So this concept comes from James Clear in Atomic Habits, where he talks about improving by just 1% every single day. So if we think about your number one tip, right, which was get clear on your goals, get clear on what you're working towards, your habits are ultimately how you're going to get there. Now, you might have really clear strategies. I'm going to create YouTube videos. I'm going to blog. I'm going to email my list. I'm going to promote this offer, right? Completely business related. But what I really encourage you to do is also think about the things outside of your business that are going to play a role in your overall success. For me, this is my morning routine. I know there's a whole love-hate relationship with morning routines. I'm actually going to share my full morning routine with you next week in a brand new vlog. But I have learned to appreciate the morning routine over the years. As soon as I removed all the rules of I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and I had to meditate for an hour and I had to do all these different things and really created a structure that worked for me, it became such a powerful grounding practice in my life. And I have tested it on the days when I do not honor this habit and go through the motions of my morning routine. I'm less productive, I'm more distracted, I'm more tired, and honestly, kind of irritable. And that doesn't play well when you're trying to run a business full time. So whatever these habits look like for you, again, highly recommend that you focus in on some sort of morning routine with whatever chunk of time that you have. More on setting that up next week on the vlog. These daily repetitions that you're doing to really honor yourself and honor your commitments to yourself and ultimately your goals are going to play a major role in your success. A few other habits that I have are also task management. So we use a software called ClickUp, which I've talked about multiple times on this channel, to organize tasks. This is incredibly helpful because I can prioritize the things that need my attention, and I check that every single day. It allows me to check in on recurring projects, make sure I'm not missing any deadlines, and rearrange things based on how I'm ultimately feeling, which helps me enjoy my job and become the CEO that I want to become. I also have a habit of scheduling everything in my calendar. Every single thing that I am doing goes in that calendar, whether it's business related or personal. And I honor that. And that really helps me prioritize the things in my life that I know are going to lead me to my ultimate goal. The third tip for you I have is to take time to reflect. This was a really hard one for me in the beginning. I have a very go, go, go mentality. Some might call it a push mentality, where I'm like always fixated on what is to come, aka tip number one, and I don't take the time to actually pause and feel gratitude. And in the beginning, I noticed that definitely kept coming up over and over and over again. And I actually credit this tip to reaching my first 6 figures in business, because what it allowed me to do was to celebrate every single thing that I did achieve. I started to implement a daily self-reflection practice where I would sit down and write down the things that I was proud of, the things that I had been working towards that I wanted to celebrate. And I got in the habit of celebrating every little thing that happened in my business until I hit that 6-figure mark. Every little sale that came, even if it was a $47 sale, I would do like a dance around my house. Anytime a sale would come in with a big launch, we would go out to dinner. Like, it became a joke almost that if we didn't celebrate, did it really happen? Now, as my business has grown, I've backed off a little bit on the little micro celebrations, but I still take time to self-reflect and sit and really think about what I've done. I think what this does is it gives us the momentum. It keeps us going. It gives us the power to continue building our business even when times might get a little rocky. I also find that having this self-reflection practice is great for checking in on all areas of my life. So as I mentioned before, I'm not just a business owner, and you're not just a business owner. There's a lot of other things that you're doing. And I want to make sure that all of those different areas feel good and feel in alignment. And I'm dedicating the appropriate time and energy to them. So having this self-reflection practice is incredibly helpful in how am I feeling with my relationship with my husband? How do I feel about, my son and I and our day-to-day routine? How am I feeling about my self-care? And so on and so forth. So whatever this self-reflection practice looks like for you, I am not one to tell you exactly how to do it. You want to make sure that you carve out time to honor that. Today in my life, it looks like a weekly check-in with journaling. I also do my very best to pause and celebrate every single sale or every single milestone that we achieve in the business. And I'm doing regular yoga practice, which for me is just such a way to honor not only my body, but also reflect. I also do a 90-day self-reflection where every single quarter I'm really going through the motions of how did this feel? What did I love? What didn't I love? What do I want to change? And so on and so forth. We actually have an entire podcast coming out on the Brandmerry podcast walking you through all the questions that I use in my quarterly reflection. All right, we're moving right along. And number 4 is all about play. All right, we have to take time to have fun in our lives. When was the last time that you actually played freely? Like you had no obligations, you had no expectations, you just allowed yourself to have freaking fun. We know that rest and play are essential habits in your overall success. And so it might sound a little crazy what I'm about to say to you, but I want you to actually schedule play. Now, before you're like, that doesn't sound like fun. If you're like me, you're probably not naturally doing it. You probably aren't seeking out natural opportunities for play. I know that's how I was when I was first starting my business. Again, I was in a work mentality, which of course was needed as launching my business, but I would forget to stop. I would forget to play. Luckily, I have a husband and a son who are very, very good at it, and so they would remind me. Now it is a top priority. And to get to this place, to get to where I am today, where I will close my computer and peace out for the day, or we'll book an impromptu trip, to get to this spot, I had to start scheduling moments of play. And I encourage you to do the same. Eventually, it will become a habit. It will become consistent. You won't have to schedule it, but to get started, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. And so I encourage you to schedule friend time, to schedule happy hours, to schedule days to go to the zoo, to schedule vacations. All of those different things are so important. One of the things I started doing in my business, which I guess is scheduled technically, is taking an entire week off every quarter. Now, I call this my quarterly week of rest, but let's be honest, I'm playing most of the time. And we typically try to coincide it with a vacation. So this allows me to schedule a period of time where I'm not working at all in my business. I'm not answering client communication. I'm not in my Facebook groups. I'm not doing any of that. And I get to have fun and rest and play with my family and ultimately fill my cup back up. This is an incredible habit that will lead to not just your maybe first 6-figure success, but continuing to scale and grow your business. Okay, this 5th tip I have for you is all about learning and advancement. One of the things that I identified in kind of my own routine really early on, a priority, if you will, was research. I really love research. I'm really good at it. It's part of the reason that people pay me for my services, because I've got a lot of knowledge up in my brain because I love to learn. I love to research. And I know that it is this combination of learning and advancement and of course implementation that has led me to building a successful online business. I really have seen time and time again where entrepreneurs, people in general, but entrepreneurs specifically, can get stuck in what they're doing. That they're like, oh, this is working, and so we're just going to keep doing this over and over and over and over again. And while I'm all about repurposing what works, and I'm all about repetition, I think we always have to, behind the scenes, be thinking ahead. This is how we get ahead of trends. This is how we talk about things and we present things before anyone else has in our industry. It's how we're jumping on maybe a new way of marketing before everybody else has. It's because we're paying attention and we're open to learning and advancement. So what I typically recommend my clients do is dedicate 20% of their schedule to learning. I don't want to tell you to just learn, because I know a lot of you will then say, okay, and you'll just start learning behind the scenes, researching, and not actually implementing anything you're learning. There has to be that balance. So if you can dedicate at least 20% to researching your industry, learning something new, maybe you're looking to expand your marketing, so you join Brandmerry Academy and you have access to all of our courses and you're going through those courses to continue to advance your business. We always have to be looking for opportunities of growth. That's what ultimately leads to success in any area of life. The opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities to grow, even if it's just by 1%. And my last tip for you today is to focus. All right, now we're doing full circle here. At the very beginning, I asked you to get really clear on exactly what you want and why you want it. This is going to help you take the daily action in order to get there. Now we have to make sure that you're actually honoring and focusing in on those daily actions. I think distractions are ultimately one of the ways that entrepreneurs deplete their time and deplete their energy. When we can really shift how we focus in on our priorities and having those things like a task management software, using our calendar, setting boundaries, having communications, all of those different things that ultimately help us focus, we're going to find that we're actually more productive with less time. I think this is the key to building a sustainable business. Oftentimes we think to get to the next level, we have to do more. We have to put in more time. We have to put in more energy. We have to put in more money. When in reality, it's about doing more with less. It's not about doing more things. It's about being more strategic with our time, with our energy, working smarter, not harder, as everyone likes to say. And so this last tip I have for you is to really focus in on those goals, focus in on those priorities, honor them. I think the key to focusing is being able to say no to things that aren't serving you in this moment. And I know that can be really hard, but I want you to really think about it as a choice. You're not sacrificing this thing. You're making a choice to honor this one instead. I also know that minimizing distractions will serve you at the highest level. So things like turning off notifications on your phone, removing Facebook. I do not have Facebook on my phone anymore. Turning off notifications if you use Slack, shutting the door to your office, even for a small period of time so you can focus. Using something like, oh my gosh, I love my new Remarkable not sponsored, to take notes because there's no other apps or anything else. Use a pen and paper, whatever it is. Really work on ways of minimizing your distractions, because that's going to ultimately allow you to focus on those things that you've already deemed a priority. I know focus is going to look different for everyone, and so much of it does depend on your schedule. But I really encourage you to take a look at where your energy and your time is going and ask yourself, are these going to some of my top priorities? If they are, fantastic. Now laser in and let's focus in on them. And if they're not, then how can you shift the energy or shift the amount of time that you're spending on certain things to remove distractions from what you ultimately want? I think at the end of the day, the success habits or achieving success, whatever that looks like for you, is saying, this is what I want. I'm willing, I'm open, and I'm going to take the daily steps to get there. And I'm going to focus in on this priority while also, of course, making time to care for yourself. The idea of success is a well-rounded idea. It's not just you make a lot of money, right? It's I can make a lot of money and I'm also loving the crap out of my life, spending time with my family, doing the things that I love, traveling, honoring my values. That to me is the ultimate definition of success. I hope that this video was really helpful for you in identifying the 6 things that I really credit to having a successful and sustainable business and life. As always, if you are looking for support when it comes to building a sustainable business, which includes sustainable marketing habits, mindset, daily life habits, we always have a spot for you inside of Brandmerry Academy. You can go to brandmerryacademy.com to learn more, join the waitlist, and sign up when doors open again. All right, next week I have that special video, a vlog, where I'm going to walk you through my morning routine, something that I've been fine-tuning for years, and talk a little bit more about some of the key points that I try to hit every single morning, and I'll be sharing that with you next week. As always, if you like this video, I would so appreciate if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. We've got a lot of amazing content on branding, marketing, and of course, sustainability to support you in building your business. I'll see you next week.